All right, guys. Today it is raining outside, so I decided I'd take advantage of that and just come in here and finish out my color sand on the car. I may start buffing it this evening, who knows. It is time consuming to sand and buff a car. I'd already started on the car on the quarters and everything back here a couple months back, actually a few months ago. And I can't remember what grade of paper I used. I think it was either the 1000 or 1200, I can't remember, but anyway, I pretty much skipped to 2000 and I went over it and over it and over it in all kinds of different directions and wiped it all down, sprayed it again, and went back and did it again with 2000. So now I'm switching to 2500 and anyway, that's pretty much it. I've got a couple of subscribers that really just kind of want to watch me work on something instead of me just talking about it. So this is just something I can do, I guess. Anyway, I don't have an external microphone for my GoPro. They're pretty expensive and I just don't have the money to buy one. So it's not really going to do any good for me to get to talking over there because you're probably not going to hear it, which I'll probably start talking anyway. But if you can't hear it, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have an external microphone. So I do have the GoPro mounted on a tripod, so it should stay pretty steady and no shaking around. But anyway, I've already wiped it down with a clean wet rag, and I'm going to spray it down again and go back over it with 2500 again. Or, well, start with the 25, I guess, but here we go. Spray bottle's almost empty, that's great. So when I start, when I wet sand a car first, very first thing on my color sanding, if I start with 1000, 1200, or whatever it is, I use a longer block, especially on a quarter panel. I've always thought that, this is just my personal opinion, if you have really harsh paper, 600 or 1000, and you use a short block, and you start going at it, you're going to induce ripples and waves and stuff. So my initial first one is always going to be with longer blocks, just to keep it nice and straight. Once I get to 2000, I'll go to just a short block. Because this stuff is pretty much just like notebook paper. You don't think it's doing anything. It does, it just doesn't cut near as hard. It's a little bit more forgiving. I've got to go about it kind of different right through here on the quarter in particular because there's a big V with a body line dipped in it right here. So this is always kind of tough to do. Definitely a place that causes trouble when you're sanding and buffing, or it could, you could go through. So when I do with the buffer, I usually will do this area right in here by hand. I have some little mini pads now for my mini buffer, so I can actually probably do it with my little buffer, air buffer. I don't bear down, I kind of just let the paper do its own thing. And if at any time that paper wrinkles up, I throw it away. Or well, I actually throw it in the car, in the floorboard there, and then there might be an area that I can tear off and use it on, curved edges where I would do it by hand or whatever. But a wrinkle in the paper, if you keep going, it'll really could make a mess in your paint job. Also, if you ever get any contamination under your paper, you'll hear it. It sounds like something get under there and kind of make a sound. Don't keep sanding. You'll want to splash your pad out, wipe that area down, and then spray it down again. Because you're just digging crater scratches into your paint, basically. This is the most rewarding aspect, I think, when you do your own paint, especially at home, anywhere really, but for me, I'm telling you, you can make a $500 paint job look like $1 million doing this, man. I'll go all different directions. Like right now, I'll be doing straight passes, and then I'll start switching to X patterns and just all kinds of crazy. I'm not going to go straight line up on this part because it rolls over. And then again, I'm down in this V right here, and it really, really scares me. A 55 I painted back in the very early 2000s. I was sanding and buffing, and it kind of dug right in there. And luckily, the quarter molding, the paint divider right here, covered it. So there was a hidden sin underneath that trim. I had a lot of painting planned for today, but the rain just screwed it up, man. Don't be staring at my ass either, perverts. I suffer from no acetol. I better turn back around this way. You guys might be enjoying that too much. Yeah, I'm afraid I'll have to refill my squirt bottle. I always put a little Dawn dish soap in my spray bottle, but I learned to do it last. Like fill your bottle up pretty close to the top and then put your dish soap in. Because if you put your dish soap in first and then you start putting water in, it just foams everywhere. And then you'll bring it out here and realize that the foam, you had a lot more of it than you had water. So just a little nice redneck tip there from your local Oklahoma neighborhood wannabe expert. I will be in trouble tonight with my body. I've got arthritis really bad, and I got to tell you, when you do something like this, at the end of the night, I am stove up, sore, can't hardly turn my head, can't bend my fingers. But I'll survive. This car's been doing a good job of kicking my ass the last 7 years, and I'll eventually get it. There it went. I'll roll it over a little bit though. So my wife went into Tulsa a while ago to get her, well, I say a while ago, it was this morning. She went into Tulsa to get her hair done. And we loaded her car down with a whole bunch of clothes and shoes and some jackets and just stuff like that to take to Goodwill. This time of year, you know, it's pretty important for people to have things. And if it's clothes that we don't wear, you know, we'll donate them. Anyway. All right, let's have a look here. Got the camera on a tripod, that's why it's getting angled here, but really glad I reworked that gas door area because now it's straight. Anyway, that thing is that's a pretty flat panel, man. Looks really nice. That'll work.